If you're still calling mobile the second screen, then you're dead wrong. Mobile is now screen number 1, 2 and 3 and Google absolutely knows it. This week sees the introduction of snippets inside of AMP pages, meaning that you can command all of the above the fold traffic if you're featured. So how do you get featured? Well, it's actually quite simple. So make sure A, that you've got some AMP running on the site and you're in Google's AMP cache. 2, make sure your content is properly structured and marked up with Schema. So if you've got things like bulleted lists, make sure they're wrapped in UL tags and properly marked up. And 3, build a butt ton of links to all those pages, because I hear Google kind of likes that and it kind of might help you rank. One of the big factors affecting it is probably going to be click-through rate, so make sure you go into Search Console, have a look at your mobile landing pages and optimize any titles and descriptions that are underperforming to help that click-through rate. Next up is more AMP news. So advertisers in Adwords can now drive traffic directly to an AMP page. If Amazon's study in 2012 is to be believed, that means that for every second lost on page load time, they were losing a whopping $1.6 billion every single year. Now, I am a massive fan of speed. And when I say speed, I mean site speed. I'm not talking about Class A narcotics. So this is very much a welcome addition for my advertising toolkit. Another minor mobile ad update, Google is now giving us 8 site links in a carousel instead of 4. So if you want to surface more product information or more product categories, we can, so we can drive direct traffic into the pages that we care about most and cut down the amount of clicks it takes from the user to click on our ad to actually buying something. And we have more AMP news again. So Google Analytics has now fixed the problem when it came to duplication of people coming from the AMP cache and people crossing over into your normal site. So this has been happening for a little while, where if people came through an AMP page and then they went on to your website, they'd be counted as completely different users, although they were the exact same thing. To fix this issue, what you will need to do is A, update the site code. So you'll need to go and either A, annoy a developer or update everything in Tag Manager. B, make sure you tell your clients that you're going to see a drop in traffic because it's inflated at the moment because it's duplicate. So tell them ahead of time so you don't look like that dick that's halved their traffic overnight. This week, Google has also sent out a bunch of invites for the beta of the new Search Console. This is going to be rolling out slowly for the rest of the year, and Google is choosing the creme de la creme of the SEO world to make sure that they're testing it with the very best consultants in the land. Sadly, Type A has not received an invite. We assume that it's probably lost in the post, but even if we do get one, it's fine. Like, we were busy that day. We don't really use Search Console. I mean, we're more Yandex kind of people. Next up, there is new impression share reporting for your shopping feeds inside of AdWords. Sadly, this is only available on the new interface. Now, you've probably been like me recently, logged into AdWords and you're hit with, these beautiful new graphics. You're like, oh God, really beautiful new graphics. And then a completely new UX and you're like, oh God, better UX is doing my head in. The reason why I don't like it is because I spent 10 years getting good at AdWords and now I don't know where anything is. But this is actually an improvement of AdWords, and it's kind of a long time coming. So as a really heavy user of shopping feeds inside of AdWords, this is a real welcome change for me, because it means that I can see that the impressions, and I can also see when I'm number 1 on mobile and desktop for my shopping feeds, so I can much easily optimize the ads themselves, add our negatives better, and work out where I can adjust my bids to get the most out of my shopping feeds. Next up, a new SERP feature. Google has introduced a new way to look for tickets and hotels on a mobile device. Whereas before you could only pick one date and get prices for that date, you can now give them a rough date and they'll give you everything on one side and the other side presented in a really nice calendar format. This is absolutely great for the user because it means they can get the best deal possible. But for those companies like British Airways and Virgin Airways, and also the OTAs like Skyscanner, this might feel like Google's slightly twisting the knife a little bit. If we were to put our tinfoil hats on for just a second, let's take it back 10 years or so. The companies start paying Google tons of money on advertising and everyone's happy because they're getting all this new traffic and making all these sales. Google then starts to increase the bids on their own brand name. Less happy, but still happy because I'm getting the sales. They then introduce flight checking and comparison, so we're now gating the traffic before it gets to your site. Less happy. Not only that, we're now going to add price comparisons, so we're going to rip out all the functionality of your site, give it to the user on the front end, and when we send them to your site, we're going to include a little affiliate tracking cookie so we can take a commission on that traffic we've just gave you. It's a very interesting time to be in travel, and an even more interesting time if you're a Google shareholder. Lastly, in security news, Google is now sending out emails to all webmasters who do not have secure pages on their website. This was announced a couple of months ago, and it's going to be rolling out in October, which is just a couple of weeks away. So if you're one of those webmasters that have just got an email saying that your site isn't secure, you're probably a bit of a dick because it's 2017 and you should be making your pages secure. If you don't, every time a user goes to your page, it's going to display in the browser that you're not secure. And in terms of converting people or taking people's cash on a payment, that's going to get very, very challenging. Thank you very much for listening. That's all of the news for this week. If you'd like the slide deck version of this to send around the office, just go to a.agency/news. Or if you've got a colleague you think would benefit from hearing the Google news this week, just tag them in the comments below. For all trolling and complaints, please tweet me @artavs, or you can get me on email, ross@a.agency. See you next week.